What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm gonna do the long-awaited and most anticipated review on the Canon EOS R. I'm kidding. There's like so many reviews on this camera online. You can pretty much watch anybody's review on this and get what you need. But this is gonna be my review on the Canon EOS R. Now keep in mind, I'm not going to be really talking about the specs of this camera. I'm going to be more so just talking about my real world use with it and what I think of it as my daily driver camera. So I just want to say this before I start the review. Whatever camera you may have right now, whether it's the Canon EOS R or a more expensive camera or a cheaper camera, learn it to its maximum potential. Or more so, put your maximum potential into that camera and see what you can create. Because you'd be surprised with even the most budget-friendly camera, the quality content that you can get out of it is insane. That's what's going to make you a better filmmaker. Not the gear, not the equipment. I'm talking to myself right now. It's what you put into your project, what you put into the camera. It's basically if you have the eye of a cinematographer, that's what's going to make you a better filmmaker. All right, with that being said, this camera exceeds my expectations and it does absolutely everything that I require as a content creator. Beginning the 4K crop. Yes, the 4K has a crop, but you can always combat that with wider lenses. Get what is it, a 10 to 12 millimeter EF? Don't quote me on that. There's a 10 millimeter lens that you can get to chuck on to this camera, and it's gonna be equivalent to like a 16 millimeter. So I don't want to hear anything about this 4K crop. Okay, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate, but it's really not a big deal. One thing I do wish that was on this camera is full HD 120 frames per second, but I'm totally okay with it not being on here. I just do 60 frames per second, and it really makes me work a little bit harder to get those slow-mo shots and those B-roll shots, and it's teaching me how to be a better filmmaker, because it's really easy just to chuck on 120 frames per second and go out and shoot your B-roll or shoot things like that, you know, Peter McKinnon style. But when you got 60 frames per second, it really challenges you to, you know, move slower, and it changes, you know, what kind of environment that you may want to shoot B-roll in. And ultimately, I think it challenges you as a filmmaker. And when something challenges you, it promotes growth. So that's what we want, right? So it's still good in my book. Now, one thing that I really loved, I mean, I just love it. I love it so much, is the 8-bit C-Log. I love learning the process of color grading and color correcting C-Log footage. I love how it increases that dynamic range and it makes everything just look more cinematic, and I just love it. Yeah, I love it. In case you don't know what C-Log is, it basically makes your image look flat like this, and it helps increase that dynamic range. So basically, like if you're looking out a window and instead of it being just pure white, you'll be able to see outside the window, or the sky is not going to look all blown out. It's going to, you know, be blue, and it's going to give you more of that dynamic range. So C-Log is awesome. And if you want even better, you can shoot 10-bit C-Log with an external monitor. Did I say that right? External monitor. Blah, 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 blah. Try saying that 10 times in a row. Okay, I just did it. It wasn't that hard. The only thing I really can say that I don't really use, like, I wouldn't say I wouldn't like it, but I mean, I just don't use it, is that touch bar on the back. I mean, nobody seems to really like it. I'm really indifferent about it. I mean, it is what it is. I don't use it, but you know, some of you may like it. I don't use it. Doesn't mean I don't like it, I just don't use it. Moving on to the lenses, the RF lenses. Now, I've only used the 24 to 105, so I have no experience with any of the other ones, but really looking forward to getting the 15 to 35 f2.8, I forget what it is, but I'm really looking forward to that lens. That lens is epic, and I want a wide angle lens, but for now, this lens is perfect. This lens is, I'm losing words. This lens, the quality of it is insane. The ergonomics, everything, I love this lens. It works out really great. It feels nice in the hands, and I feel like for an f4, it really creates a pretty decent bokeh. Bokeh? I don't know how you say that. Now, I believe there's rumors that Canon is actually going to come out with like 10 or so new RF lenses. I'll have to check my sources again, but basically this camera is going to be really future proof because of all the new lenses coming in. Yes, there's new camera bodies coming in, obviously, but it's still a good camera to use because it has access to that whole RF mount line, and that seems to be the direction Canon is going in. So I would highly recommend jumping on board with this RF line because the lenses are incredible. The way they're built, it just feels like, it feels really nice. It feels like it's worth the money. Yes, they are expensive. I didn't say that already. They are expensive lenses, but I feel like you get like 1 or 2 lenses and that's all you really need. Like, I believe if I were to get the 15 to 35 and maybe 1 telephoto lens, I feel like that's all I would really need. For now, obviously this lens does everything I want until I have the money to invest into more lenses, but I don't really see the need for getting a trillion lenses. Like, they're really high quality lenses and you can invest in like 1 or 2 and it'll probably replace a good like 3 or 4 lenses that you may already have. Anyways, I'm starting to ramble. Basically, I believe this camera's worth it. It's really future proof. Yes, there'll be new bodies coming out, but if you don't want to invest in those new bodies, no worries. You get all these new lenses coming to you. Plus, these lenses are really good lenses, so you don't really need to invest in all of them. You can invest in a couple and they'll do pretty much everything that you want. So this camera has been excellent. Plus this 24 to 105 lens, it's been absolutely awesome. For f4, I feel like the bokeh is, or bokeh, I don't know what to call it. It's pretty decent. It's pretty good actually, I'd say. Obviously it's probably because I'm shooting on a full frame camera rather than my Canon M50. There's something about the full frame look that just looks epic, and it just makes, I don't know, I feel like it just looks better than your crop sensor cameras. Can you comment down below and let me know how to pronounce bokeh or bokeh? Bokeh? Okay? Alright. One thing that I found really useful is the electronic stabilization. I remember in my Canon M50 I didn't really use it too much because it created this warpy effect, but with this camera I don't see that. I mean, if you put it on enhanced, then yeah, you get that weird warpy stuff, but if you have it on normal, it works great. That with it teamed up with the RF lens with the image stabilization on that, it works out really great. I believe also the weight of the camera compared to my M50, it also helps out as well. Having a heavier camera is just, it's easier to have stable footage. I don't have to worry about too much shake. And I think that's overall pretty much what I wanted to talk about with this review. Overall, I love this camera. And like I said, learn whichever camera you have to its max potential and put your max potential into that camera and see what you get. And that's what I plan on doing with this camera. I don't plan on getting rid of it or trading it anytime soon. It's very easy to get into the vicious cycle of like, oh, I need that camera, or I need that camera, oh, that camera looks good, oh, that camera looks in low light, looks good in low light. But you just need to slow down and be like, all right, I'm gonna learn this camera to its max potential. And there's little things you can do to enhance it, you know, get different lenses, get external monitors. There's all kinds of things that you can do to, you know, up your image and all that. But like I said, learn the ins and outs of the camera and really put everything you got into it. And that's about it, guys. I'm actually gonna end this video with some B-roll shots so you guys can see what I'm able to achieve visually with this camera and with my skill level. And hopefully it'll give you a better understanding or idea of, you know, if this is a camera that you like, if you'd want it, if it's something that you already have, or maybe you completely wanna skip it. That being said, everybody films differently, so don't let this little shot list turn you off from the camera or completely turn you on from it, because it's ultimately color correction, skill level, and so on. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Consider hitting that subscribe and like button if you got anything out of this, because it helps me out tremendously. The channel has actually been growing at a pretty substantial rate, so I just want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed and liked and who's been interactive in the comments. It's been helping me out tremendously. I love talking to all of you and talking about camera gear, camera tech, and thank you guys for commenting. I appreciate it, and I love talking to you guys about all things cinematic, filming, and tech. I love it. Thank you guys once again, and until next time, peace!